Long ago, in the far reaches of the galaxy, there was a ship. Not just any ship, but a mysterious vessel, lost to time, forgotten by most. It had drifted for centuries, its metal hull scarred by cosmic storms and ancient space battles, and yet it kept moving, gliding silently through the black void. This was the Silent Ship, as it came to be known by those who dared to whisper its name. The first explorers who stumbled upon the Silent Ship were a group of brave space travelers. They were known as the Starwalkers, explorers who roamed the stars in search of lost worlds and forgotten relics. They had heard stories of the Silent Ship, the tales that echoed across distant planets and space stations. The ship was said to be cursed, haunted by a terrible secret. The Starwalkers were drawn to the ship by an unexplainable force, as though something was calling them. It was an old legend told by the few who had seen the Silent Ship before, or at least claimed to. They said that every night, the ship would scream, a horrifying sound that could be heard across the vastness of space, echoing through the stars like a cry of agony. But no one knew why. The Starwalkers, despite the chilling stories, were not afraid. They were adventurers, explorers at heart, and they felt a deep, burning need to discover the truth. With their ship, the Vanguard, they followed the faint trail of the Silent Ship, drifting from one corner of the galaxy to the next. They crossed nebulae, flew through asteroid fields, and sailed past ancient stars, all while keeping their eyes on the mysterious vessel that hovered just beyond reach. One night, as the Vanguard drew near, a strange feeling washed over the crew. It was as if the very space around them had grown still, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. The stars shined dimmer, and the usual hum of their ship seemed muted. The Silent Ship was close. "Prepare to board," Captain Alara ordered, her voice steady but with a trace of uncertainty. "We've come too far to turn back now." The crew gathered their equipment, lights, oxygen tanks, and space suits. They knew they were stepping into the unknown. It wasn't just a ship that lay before them, it was a legend, a piece of a forgotten history, and maybe, a key to understanding the mysteries of the cosmos. With the Vanguard hovering nearby, the Starwalkers floated toward the Silent Ship, tethered by long ropes. They made their way across the emptiness of space, the coldness creeping into their bones. As they neared the ship's hull, they could see the dark, twisted markings on the surface. The ship was old, older than anything they had ever encountered. Strange symbols, unfamiliar to even the most seasoned archaeologists, were carved deep into its surface. "We should be careful," said Zane, the crew's tech expert, as he scanned the ship's energy readings. "It's almost as if the ship is alive, or dead." Captain Alara nodded. "No turning back now." One by one, the Starwalkers docked onto the Silent Ship. They made their way to the airlock, and when they finally entered, a strange chill filled the air. The ship was vast, its hulls dark and empty, but there were signs of life once, of a civilization long lost. The walls were adorned with strange tapestries, their colors faded by time, depicting beings unlike anything the crew had seen before. Alien figures with elongated limbs and glowing eyes stood frozen in the artwork, their gazes distant, as if watching something far beyond the ship's walls. The deeper they ventured into the ship, the more uneasy they felt. The silence was suffocating, oppressive, and as if the very ship itself was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The Starwalkers could feel the weight of the ancient mystery pressing down on them. They had found the ship, but they had yet to find the truth. Suddenly, in the stillness of the ship, a noise broke through, an eerie, low hum that seemed to vibrate through the walls. It started softly, like a whisper carried by the wind. Then, as the crew moved forward, it grew louder. The noise turned into a scream, a chilling, bone-rattling cry that seemed to echo from the heart of the ship. It was as if the ship itself was in pain, a pain so deep and ancient that it resonated through the very fabric of space. The scream pierced the air, and for a moment, the crew was frozen in place. Captain Alara was the first to react. "What in the stars was that?" she exclaimed. Zane, his face pale, checked his equipment. I don't know." The readings are off the charts. It's as if the ship is alive. But even more unsettling was the feeling that washed over them, the feeling that the scream wasn't just a sound, but a message. A warning, perhaps, or a plea for help. "Let's keep moving," Captain Alara said, her voice steady, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of fear. "We have to find out what's causing this." As they moved deeper into the ship, they discovered something that would haunt them forever. In the ship's command center, they found a console, ancient, yet still functioning. It flickered to life as they approached, displaying images of a long-lost alien civilization. The images were blurry, but the message was clear. The silent ship had once belonged to a race of beings who had discovered a dark and terrible power hidden within the heart of the galaxy, a power that had consumed their civilization and left their ship drifting in space, its crew forever lost. But what really sent shivers down their spines was the final image on the screen, a creature, its form twisted and unrecognizable, floating in the void. The creature's eyes glowed with an unnatural light, and its mouth was open in a silent scream. Before they could investigate further, the scream returned, louder this time, shaking the very walls of the ship. It wasn't just a cry, it was a warning. The Starwalkers realized, with a dawning horror, that the silent ship had not been drifting alone. It had been carrying something ancient, something evil, and it was awake now, hungry. The crew turned to flee, but as they did, the ship's doors slammed shut, trapping them inside. The darkness closed in, and the scream echoed through the halls of the silent ship, louder and louder, until it became all-consuming. And so, the legend of the ship that screams was born. It would drift through the stars, calling to those brave enough to uncover its secrets. And every night, it would scream, a cry that could be heard across the galaxy, drawing adventurers to their doom. And if you ever find yourself drifting through space, and you hear that scream, remember this: some ships are better left alone. Some legends are best left untold.